My name is Avil Beckford. My name is Avil Beckford, and I am the host of The One Problem. I started this because it's something that's near and dear to my heart. My interview guests will come on and they talk about one problem, not a million, just one, and they'll offer their solution in about 5 to 8 minutes. And this is a way for all of us to learn. Today, here's another Elevate sister, Tetyana Dudnyk, and she is one of the on the leadership team of the Toronto chapter. Most of you know that I'm a Torontonian. So over to you, Tetyana.
Thank you, Avil. It's great to be part of this series, and I'm super excited to share one problem that I often come across with everyone, and hopefully my tips and tricks will help others to tackle the same problems. So my problem, in my everyday life, I run tons of projects. I work full time. I'm actually director of technology project management office for one of the banks in Canada, and I do projects for a living. But also, I do a lot of projects at home. I'm a mom of two. I volunteer, and I'm a part of leadership team for Toronto Elevate. And of course, there's tons of stuff to be done. And there's only 24 hours a day, and you're only one person. And sometimes we get frustrated that we cannot actually achieve everything we want to. There's so much going on, we commit too much, and at the end of the months, we realize we haven't even moved the needle. So what I've noticed that works, whether in the large projects or programs, and sometimes I have multi-million-dollar initiatives, and I have a small initiatives like creating a garden for myself. If you go slower and smaller, you actually achieve more. It's a very counterintuitive thought, but what happens is when you overwhelmed with a lot of things that needs to be done on a large initiative, you just need to pause and say, okay, what can I realistically commit between now and let's say next week when I meet with either my team or I meet with other people that I want to run a project or initiative, or to just look at what have I done for myself. It's kind of my milestone, and commit to one or two things. Yes, you have 15 to do and you think it's going to take forever, but trust me, and it's been proven, if you just commit to one or two, you somehow find a way to accommodate it in your calendar. You put everything outside and say, outside of your mind box, you just say, between now and next week, those are two things I'm doing, and put it in your calendar. And over months, you will notice if you continue using this discipline, you'll actually achieve much more, and you achieve quite large scope. And you're going to be happy with yourself, and you also create a sustainable pace of change. Because if anything I know about the projects, it's like a continuous effort and continuous revision of the milestone, what gets you to the finish line. That's all for me today.
Well, as you were talking, I was thinking back to when I worked in an organization. And usually, when I had a large project, the best way that I have found to approach it is to break down this project into manageable chunks and deal with one chunk at a time. And as time progresses, you know, I finish the whole thing. So it makes a lot of sense. And it may be counterintuitive to some people, but a lot of times a big project can get you overwhelmed. And then you do nothing.
It's true. And you get the large team and say, how do we go about this? Especially if it's something new and you haven't done before. So you have no idea how to do it. And what people tend to do is like come up with things that needs to be done, right now. It might not be necessary. Even when you take that discipline in for a week or two in the beginning, especially very large new initiatives, it happens all the time. There's a lot of mayhem. There's a lot of ambiguity. People are running around meetings after meetings, because they're trying to come up how to move forward. And while you're trying to break it into chunks, you're still trying to get your hands around what those chunks are. And some things, what I do with the team deliberately, I'd say, team, there's a lot to be done, understandable. We don't have a full picture yet to be able to break it. But what can we do between, what needs to be done between now and next week? Okay. Can we actually accomplish it? And sometimes you would be wondering, do we even need to meet? Because perhaps the task that we need to accomplish cannot be broken in a smaller chunks. It's going to take more than 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. Or, people tend to have, okay, we have to meet every other day to see the progress. But the truth is, sometimes you can't get that progress within 2 days. You need a little bit longer. So it actually helps you to look at this and say, okay, team, who's going to take what? Does everybody have something to do? If not, maybe you don't need to attend the next meeting. It really helps kind of remove that ambiguity, at least for the short period of time, until you have a full understanding of the scope, or full understanding of what you need to do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tetyana.